Hi everyone, I'm Sandie La Nae. Welcome to Psychic Creations History Series. You are about to embark on a blast to the past. We have a very interesting program for you today as we feature the historic accounts of US Marshal Bass Reeves, who was a noted personality in the southern areas of the United States with an impressive career in law enforcement. Portraying U.S. Marshal Bass Reeves is Chautauqua performer Paul Garrett. Put your hands together and welcome Bass Reeves and Paul Garrett to the show today. It's an honor to have you here.
It's an honor to be here.
All right. Oh, how fun. Well, now, if you would, Mr. Reeves, please tell our viewers about yourself and your place in history.
My name is Bass Reeves. I was born in 1838, Arkansas Territory, just outside of Texas. And I am the first black lawman west of the Mississippi. I was asked to fulfill that position by the president via a judge. And because of my prowess with tracking, hunting, able to speak five, actually a little bit, different native tongues, Indian language. And I was asked to join the Marshals to help tame the Arkansas, Oklahoma Indian territories, which I readily accepted. I was born a slave, and my owner gave me to his son, which some say that we have a good family resemblance there. That's another story. And the son took me with the Confederate Army, and we fought the Yankees just for a while. Growing up, I was not allowed to read or write, but I was allowed to shoot. I was trained as an armorer. I am what is called ambidextrous, meaning I can shoot with my right hand just as well as I can shoot with my left hand. And I won many, many awards throughout the South for my prowess with my rifle and my guns. So many awards that eventually I was banned. They couldn't beat me. Anyway, my master joined the Confederate Army, and we were tasked with fighting the Yankees, and we did that. I had a little bit of a difficult time because I couldn't see firing on boys that looked just like me, but them boys was shooting at me, so I shot back. And I hit more than they hit, truth be told. There's one skirmish where I took out a major, I took out a colonel, and I wounded a general. I'm not proud of that, but that's what I had to do to survive, and I did. My master was awarded the Legion of Merit or some such thing for that, for my shooting, but that's the way it was. Eventually, I got my freedom, and I won't go into that story, but it involved me beating the hell out of my master because he cheated me at cards, and I couldn't read and write, but I sure know how to read and memorize cards. It's getting me a little upset there. Anyway, he was supposed to give me my freedom. He cheated. I took my freedom. And I escaped to Indian territories. I lived there and trained with them. The Indians, the Crow, the Blackfoot, they took me in. I had many friends that were half Indian, half black, and they took me in. I learned 4 different tongues. I could speak as good as any native. You could never tell I wasn't a native. Eventually, judge came by, and I was employed, asked to be a marshal because of my background, my skills, and I agreed to help tame the Arizona, Arkansas, and Oklahoma Indian territories. I brought in over 3,000 varmints in my career. I have a record of 20 kills. Again, I'm not proud of it, but it's something I had to do. They're gonna kill me, I'm gonna shoot first. And I have another probably 20 that I just didn't have time to go back and get the names and the bodies because I was fighting my way out of an ambush. I was fighting my way out of a bad situation. And I took names and kicked butt, as we would say. My career lasted 47 years. Eventually, Oklahoma, the territories, were all tamed. I went in there after the outlaws, chased them down, arrested them. Again, 3,000 arrests. And I helped tame that. When Oklahoma became a state, they incorporated sort of British type law system where they had constables. And I became the first constable in Oklahoma, the city of Muskogee. I was a constable there. I did not carry an arm. I had an assistant that accompanied me, and I had 4 or 5 different weapons to choose from, so if anybody didn't know who I was and they did something on my beat and I had to go talk to them, I had my weapons with me and I'd tell my partner, Frankie, I want my 45. This is a big hombre. I want him to see the big round that's going to take him down. If it was somebody else, I might use a 38, maybe even a 32. Depends on how I felt, or how far away we were going to swing out and have this showdown. So I wasn't armed, as I said, but I was able to do whatever I needed to do. I lasted 2 years, 1910, and I got a little illness and what they would call eventually high blood pressure, and you know that's what happened. But I was a lawman almost 50 years.
Goodness sakes, what a career. What a career, viewers, right?
Thank you.
Goodness sakes.
Thank you.
And when was it that you did cross over?
1910.
Oh, 1910. Okay.
68 years old at 1910. I worked as a constable for 2 years, and it just wasn't meant to be anymore. And the good Lord said it was time to come on up there and maybe stand at the pearly gates and help him out some.
There you go.
And I agreed to do that.
Awesome. That's impressive. I don't even know what to counter-ask you for that. That's it. I got tears in my eyes. This is impressive.
Well, thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am. I
love
appreciate
that. Love that.
Thank you.
All right. Well, now can we talk to Paul, Mr. Reeves? We are now going to be talking to Paul Garrett. Now that's cool.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you, Sandy. I'm glad to be here.
Well, what inspired you to pursue history, and especially Mr. Bass Reeves?
Well, actually, I was in Fort Worth, Texas, downtown at the cattle. Every day in the summertime, they have a cattle drive come through downtown Fort Worth. I happened to be there, and I saw all these cowboys. And they were doing shootouts, they were driving the cattle. I mean, it was like being in 1880 Fort
Yes.
Worth. I was impressed. On a whim, I went up to one of the cowboys, and I was just kidding around, and I said, I want to do that. And I had the encouragement, I mean, immediate encouragement. Yeah, when do you want to start? Oh, yeah, we need somebody else. You know, how are you going to do this? I wasn't ready. I was just I was just talking. I was having fun. Yeah.
Right. Well,
But I realized that, well, you know, that is something I wanted to do, and I only knew about Fort Worth having that. And so my plan was to go back the next year. We have family there in Dallas, Fort Worth, and I was going to go back and eventually go downtown Fort Worth, and they actually pay their cowboys and reenactors.
Good.
They get like $60 a day, and then you get tips and $10 a picture or whatever it is from.
Right.
So they make a little bit of money, and they're all retired. And I wasn't retired yet, but I knew I was going to be. And I decided I wanted to do that. In between that time and now, I was turned on to Bass Reeves through the History Channel, through a little television show called Gunslingers, and they talked about Bass Reeves, and it just piqued my interest. It was like Bass, somebody tapped me, and I became immersed in what he was and who he was. Found out that the Lone Ranger was patterned after him. The Lone Ranger and Tonto were patterned after him, like I had said. Bass had an accomplice. He had an accomplice as he roamed through the territories too. It was an Indian accomplice. So a lot of historians and things like that are tying in the Lone Rangers with Bass Reeves. Bass Reeves was an accomplished actor. He would put on disguises. He would walk 20 miles dressed as a bum to convince wherever he was going that that's exactly what he was. And then one time he was on the trail of a bad guy, and he knew the bad guy had holed up in the home with mom and brothers. And so he walked this 20 miles. He was dirty, he was tired. He convinced them that he too was a criminal. They'd come on and join our gang, and he did. Everybody went to sleep that night, and the bad guy, when they woke up, was in chains. And so Bass grabbed him, and he's walking him back, and the mother was behind him, screaming at him the whole way. They realized they'd been duped.
Right.
You know, but there was he would use disguises all the time, and
Isn't that something?
it was. He was at least in, we know, 20 gunfights. He had more people that he had firefights with. He was never hit. He was never hit, never wounded. He had his hat shot off once, and he had his gun belt shot off. And I propose that the one that shot his gun belt off was Calamity Jane, because there's a historical record in there where he actually went out to arrest her, and because they knew each other, if she had something she needed to do, she agreed to turn herself in the next day if he let her do what she needed to do. He agreed to that. She turned herself in. In my history thing, it was a duel. I'll turn myself in. Let's see who can shoot the closest. Let's play chicken. And I think she won. Shot his belt off, and he said, "Okay, you got 24 hours, and then I'm coming back after you, but it won't be his friends."
Isn't that? Oh my gosh! You're just Bass Reeves was intertwined with a lot of the southern state kind of history.
Yes.
With people, the people.
They do. I have family members that reside in Oklahoma, and they know who Bass Reeves is.
Really?
In Texas, especially southern Texas, Arkansas area, they know who Bass Reeves is. He's not a question mark at all.
Now, did Bass Reeves live down, not you, Paul, but Bass Reeves, did he live down in Arkansas or Oklahoma or Arizona? Or did he just kind of like to travel all over?
No, he was actually married. Bass Reeves. I was married. I had 12 children. And
wow!
I would go out, and sometimes it would take 6 months. I'd be on that trail for 6 months,
Oh.
7 months to accomplish my mission to fill my writ,
Okay.
which some people call a warrant. I had
Right.
a writ, and to get that varmint or those varmints, it would take up to 6 months sometimes. So
Oh my
I would
gosh,
go out,
yeah.
I would come back in flush with cash, and that ran the farm.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, this is, wow, I want to learn more. Now, if you were traveling, how did you have 12 kids?
Well, I got home for 6
Yeah,
months.
that's right.
You
That is
get home
right.
6 months and you're gone
Yeah,
6
right.
months, you know. And when you come back, baby number 8's on the way. Baby 8 gets there, you leave, and baby number 9's on the way when you come back. That's how that works.
Isn't that fun?
One of the things I must
Uh-huh.
say is I could never read or write.
Uh-huh.
I was never taught how to read or write, but I could memorize. I memorized my writs. I memorized the signatures on the writs. I never, ever confused my writs with my subjects and the bad guys. Nobody ever knew that I could not read and write.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
For crying out loud. Wow.
But I memorized.
You memorized that.
Yes, ma'am.
You are a phenomenal person, Mr.
Yes, ma'am.
Reeves.
Thank you.
Phenomenal.
Appreciate it. Yes, ma'am.
Well,
I did
I'm
my best.
glad to get to know you today.
Well, you know, the government, our country, they gave me a lot of responsibility. And with a lot of responsibility comes great expectations. And it was my opportunity to fulfill those expectations, to help our country grow, to tame our country, and to eliminate some of the bad seed that just needed to be eliminated at the time. And that's what happens. I was the man.
And you did it.
I did it.
You did it.
Yes, ma'am.
That's so impressive. You know, Paul, I want to talk to Paul now again, if you don't mind. Being the title of my show is called Psychic Creations. And to keep one aspect of the show with a psychic venue, I'd like to ask you a question, if you feel comfortable answering it, okay?
Okay.
When you were learning about Bass Reeves, and you were memorizing your Chautauqua script, okay? Did you ever feel that Bass Reeves was right there next to you,
All the time.
helping you? Oh,
All the
awesome.
time. There was something about it, and I was hooked.
Okay.
I can't explain it other than the idea came to me. I started writing, I started reading, learning, and I didn't want to stop. And I still don't want to stop. And because of that, though, a couple of other characters have come to me.
Oh, good.
Nate Love was
Okay.
another cowboy, a black cowboy, half black, half white, former slave. And Nate Love was born in the same time period. Eventually, and he was a cowboy. He was, as a matter of fact, he stole 10,000 herd of horses from the Mexicans during the Mexican-American War.
Oh.
Gave them to the Americans.
Okay.
But he was a friend of Bass Reeves,
Okay.
and they knew each other.
Yeah.
And he too lived to retire at a ripe old age, and he eventually retired as a Coleman porter on the trains.
Really?
Yes. He wrote a book, The Life and Times of Nate Love, in 1910. That was wildly popular. Wyatt Earp had his book out, and Wild Bill Hickok had his stuff out, and Nate Love put his stuff out. But eventually, it was censored by the Times, and that's what happens. I mean, that's just the way it was, you know.
Right, sure.
But he's another character that came to me while I was doing my Bass Reeves, who I decided that he's calling too.
Okay.
And
Nice. Nice.
my third and last character, I'm still developing, and I won't say anything else about
Oh, darn.
that.
Okay.
I think I have been tapped.
Okay.
As
Thank you for
crazy
that.
as that sounds.
Yeah, well, you know, a lot of people, and including myself, not that I'm trying to take over the TV show here, but including myself because I write history, the characters that I'm writing about, the people that I'm writing about, they are so here.
Yes, they are.
They help guide me. I find the most obscure information in the most strangest places, and my co-author does too. It's just amazing. So I'm glad that you were comfortable enough to answer that question, because I try and ask that question of all my Chautauqua
do.
performers, and each and every one of them have said, yes, this person, male, female, has it just like what you said. You learn about them and you're hooked, and it's just like everything that you need to learn about them just starts coming to you.
It does.
And you feel a kinship with that character.
And it actually came so easy that I actually talked to my wife and I said, you know, I think he's here. Because his information and the ability to just retain it almost felt, since this is the show, it almost felt like I'd done this before. And
Oh, that just gave me shivers.
and that's what I feel.
Do you happen to have any of Bass Reeves' letters or pictures or props or anything?
No, I don't. I mean, I've you know, the outfit I have on here is not precisely period correct
Okay,
for Bass Reeves.
Okay.
This is a little bit of Hollywood here.
Well, why not?
But this is what looks good.
Right,
you
you
know,
bet, yeah.
If I came in here like I had rolled around out on the dirt there,
Exactly.
I'm going to look like somebody that came in looking like I rolled around on the dirt. So,
yeah. Well, you have to have your stage persona.
yes,
so
yes,
sure.
you know, and
Wow.
and talking about that, I am actually working with Doc Durden, and I will be
My producer.
his producer. And Doc?
Yeah.
And I'll be playing Bass Reeves in an upcoming movie that Doc is producing. And The Bounty Hunter, that should be coming out this year, hopefully.
Oh, nice.
That's very nice. And I'm doing a movie. Since we talked last, things have changed quite a bit.
Oh, fun.
So, I'm a producer, CEO of Blue Welshman Film Productions, and I have a movie that, please God, should be coming out hopefully by the end of the year. That's what I'm shooting at. I'm shooting at late fall maybe, and it's a modern day movie. Takes place in the modern day, but it has cowboy reenactors and Chautauquas in it, as well as ancient Celtic, American Indian, South American Indian, and European mystery legend in there. All these countries and areas I've mentioned have the same type of legend, and without giving it away much, but I'll be incorporating, well, let's say Manitou and Skinwalkers into this. So it's going to have a little of the supernatural.
Just got shivers again. Oh my gosh! I can't wait to get that out and about now. I want to see it.
You know, it's something that I had actually started writing a book 35 years ago.
Really?
And I put it down. I got through about 2 or 3 chapters, put it down, life took over, and it was gone, but I never forgot it. And moved up here, retired, and moved up here from the Bay Area. And my plan was just to act. I wanted to act. I told you I'd learned about the reenactors in Chautauqua, and that's all I wanted to do was be an actor. I've been an actor for 40 years. I've done probably 100 plays, and that's all I wanted to do. But I got involved with Doc Durden, who convinced me that I may want to look at a movie making group. And become what's known as a double triple threat. In other words, a triple threat in theater, you can sing, you can act, and you can dance. Okay?
Oh, I did not know. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Well, a double triple threat is you can sing, you can act, you can dance, you can film, you can direct, and you can edit.
Oh, wow. Oh,
and I didn't want to do that.
Okay.
I didn't. I just wanted to act. But Doc convinced me to give it a little bit of time with the arena movie makers, and I did. And it didn't take long at all. I dug my old screenplay out of my brain. That's what we're talking about now. And I'm damn glad I did, because I just feel that it was meant to be. I've been pointed in the right direction.
Yes.
When I met Doc, my wife and I had gone down to Winnemucca to go to the rodeo, to go to the county fair. We knew it was small. We didn't know how small. And we're sitting in the Piggly Wiggly that evening, or whatever it is, barbecue place.
Okay.
And we're facing the door.
Okay.
And the door opens, and Doc's not a little guy. This silhouette fills the door. The sun's coming in behind. I can't see any face, right? Just a silhouette of this big guy, and I could tell. I'm thinking, man, that's some cowboy. You know, that's what. Who is that? Wyatt Earp? Is it Wild Bill Hickok? And I could see the hair, and I'm going, that's Wild Bill Hickok.
Oh.
So I'm thinking, okay, this is a Winnemucca councilman.
Oh, okay, sure.
You know, somebody getting ready for tomorrow. Maybe there's something going on. And I tell my wife, I go, check this guy out. And now she's facing me.
Okay.
Don't turn around. Right? So she turns around, she looks, and she sits back down, and she goes, wow. And I'm going, wow. And he's in full regalia.
Right,
you know, I mean, boom, everything, spot on. Anyway, we're sitting at a picnic table, and, you know, separation and stuff. So my wife and I at this end, he sits down at the other end, and I'm looking at him, and we've been together 36 years, you know, married. And right away, she goes, don't say anything. She read my mind. And I looked, and I wasn't going to, but I saw his cufflinks, and there were these gold conches.
Yeah.
I love cufflinks. So that's where the talk started. As we're talking, it's like boom, boom, boom. We somehow known each other for a million years.
Yeah.
He says he's going to be at the parade the next day. And I'd give him a little thing. I want to do a Bass Reeves, and he liked that idea. Give him just a little pitch. And the next day we're out at the parade, and leading the way is Doc with his whips and everything.
Right.
And my wife goes, don't say anything, don't say anything. So I go, hey, Doc.
There you go.
And he came right over to me.
Right.
We started talking, he gave me his card, and there was a connection. That connection was made. I have to say, you know, thanks to Doc, full-blown going in the movie-making business.
Yay!
I've got a lot of stuff that he's helped, I purchased from him. The things he's helped me wear, helped me get right, you know, and, you know, so I'm not a 2021 cowboy, you know.
Sure,
and just everything I've been able to bounce off him, and it's thanks to him that I'm standing here next to you.
Isn't that fun?
It is. It is.
Well, we're going to have to wrap things up right now, but Paul, thank you so much for bringing to the program today the wonderful Bass Reeves and his historic individuality, as well as Paul Garrett, people. Paul Garrett. All right. Well, if you would like to be a guest on my Psychic Creations History Series, you can contact me for further information at my website, which is www.sandypsychicstones.com. Thank you all for watching Psychic Creation History Series, and remember, history created who we are today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.